Jodie Shooter Craig. This figure right here, I wanted it. I seen it. I waited. Stupid. Joe's, especially the classified line, is one of those things that for the most part, I have not come across very often where it shows up and then it goes away and then I can't find it. Like, I see them at conventions. I see them on clearances. I see them in Entertainment Earth. I see them at Big Bad Toy Store. I still see them on the toy shelves here and there. Every single toy show that I go to, there's usually like 4 or 5 tables where there's just every single one that you could possibly want just in boxes. Like entire tables of these guys. All of them marked at like 30, 40, 30, 40, 50, 45, whatever. Like all affordable, all obtainable. I'm not saying that's true for everything, but all the ones that like I've personally been like, oh man, I think I want to get that. Then she comes along. And I'm instantly interested. I don't know why. I can't explain it necessarily. I will go into some of the details of what immediately caught my attention. But like, I saw her and I was like, oh man, what is that? I want that. But then, as I've talked about this many times, $20 spent here is $20 you can't spend here. And I was spending $20 here. Not $20 here. Here being Jodie Shooter Craig. And there's a couple of things that get in the way. With all my toy collecting currently, by the way. See, Titan has the Conan the Barbarian license. I know it's weird that Conan is coming up in a Jodie Shooter video, but it is relevant. And when Titan got that license, they started putting back out all the omnibus, as well as doing new Conan the Barbarian. Well, because of this, I finally had a chance to buy the original Marvel Years omnibus, reprinted in all of its glory, uncut, every page of the original books, finally untouched. Beautiful print in full-bound hard books. And I didn't have to pay $1,000 for Omnibus 1. Because yes, I am not kidding, the price on Omnibus 1, the original Marvel Years, was exceeding $1,000 before Titan did the reprint. It was, the last time I checked it, because I was starting to buy them, and I was trying to find them from stores that were willing to sell them and personal and like private collectors that were willing to part with them. And I found Omnibus 1s that were $1,200. As you can imagine, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Even if I could have done that, I could have never justified it. So I just simply said to myself, this is something that I'm not going to read. Not that I don't want to read it. Not that there isn't some other way to get it. There has to be. But as it stands right now, I can't do it. Then Titan comes along and says, hey, we've got Conan. We're making new Conan. And we have the exclusive rights to print all Conan. And we're going to do it. You know all those books that are impossible to get? The omnibus books that are absolutely impossible to obtain? We're going to reprint all of them. And we're going to reprint Savage Sword of Conan as well. All the omnibus. These will be expensive, but not as expensive as all the ridiculous things on the aftermarket that nobody wants to buy. Small problem. Titan has the rights to all of Conan. So the reprints are technically missing pages. anything that was printed in Marvel books, you still get the Conan parts. You don't get the Marvel parts. So if it was a Conan book and it was the first 30 pages were a Conan the Barbarian book, and you read that, and then like all of a sudden the last like 10 or 14 pages were some other Marvel character that they put in the book and filled space or whatever, you don't get that. They're not allowed to print that part. You know what? That's fine. I don't care. That's 100% fine with me. I was fine with it. And it also meant that because I knew how these sold out before, I had to buy them now. I couldn't put it off. Putting it off would mean that I may never get these. I had to buy the omnibus, and they're still being sold right now. We are still talking about Jodie Shooter Craig. This is all relevant. I go look up the prices. These books are all pre-ordered, and they're all costing about $150 a book. That's a lot. I'm completely understanding just how much that is, because I'm paying it. So I take a deep breath, exhale a massive sigh. I can't pass it. I can't pass it up. I buy volume 1. I buy volume 2. I buy volume 3. Then I go to Savage Sword. I buy volume 1 and volume 2. That's a lot of money on the pre-order. That ties all of my money up. I have nothing. I have no dollars. And I keep saying to myself, big deal. I'll get $200. At some point, I'll do some overtime. I'll buy her. She leaves Entertainment Earth. Gone. That's fine. She'll come back. She ain't coming back. She's on Big Bad. I think, okay, well, they must have just restocked her because I found her on Big Bad, so I'll do a paycheck or two, and then I'll get her. She leaves Big Bad. She's gone. And she doesn't come back. Now I'm getting a little worried. I'm checking eBays and stuff. I'm finding her on sites like Mercari. And it's making me scared because I don't want to buy a fake. And I don't want to buy a custom. And I don't want to necessarily buy somebody else's already opened Jodie Shooter that may be missing parts. Even when it says, hey, this is complete and yada yada. But I'm considering it because this is one that I wanted. And then, I don't know why, but I get this weird feeling like, hold on a minute. Hasbro makes her. Is she still on Pulse? I don't know why I got this weird. I just did, because I was looking at all different kinds of things. I just basically typed her in on Google and was going down the shopping list, and I was finding her on eBay posts and finding her on Mercari and things like that. But nothing that guaranteedly made me feel like, okay, I'm ready. This seems like the piece that I want. I'm going to buy it. I've still got concerns. So I sign on to Hasbro directly, Hasbro Pulse, and she comes up. And I'm like, so she's sold out everywhere, but she's still available directly from Hasbro. But people are currently on eBay's and Mercari and other things like that demanding $40, $50, $60 for this figure. But I can get her for $20, well, like $24, from Hasbro right now for what she, like, costs. And then I finally said, okay, look, Bill, you already played this game twice and watched her disappear twice. You really want to play this game again? So, I got my check, and I immediately, I was at work, and I opened it up and found her and was like, look, you're buying her. You're buying her right now because chances are if you put it off again, she's gone, and she ain't coming back. And for some reason, this is one that I wanted. One that I wanted that kept vanishing. Well, now I have her. She showed up. She was bought directly from Hasbro Pulse. She's right here. Her box is fine. It's not something I'm going to keep, and it's not something that I'm like flipping out about. It's not like the best box I've ever seen in my world, but you get it. It is what it is. It's G.I. Joe Classified. It's bound to be good. And she hits a certain area that I just really, really like. Like, I wanted her. Every now and then, and this is important, I am not a G.I. Joe fan. I've probably read 20 comics ever. Ever. I've watched the live-action movie 1 and 2. I played with some Joes. I have only seen one episode of G.I. Joe ever. One episode. One. But this line is so good. And it releases characters that just hit me in such a way that I'm buying G.I. Joes. Like, I don't know how to explain that besides it just blows my mind, right? It just absolutely blows my mind that something is so good that it just speaks to me as just a fantastic toy. First, foremost, period. So let's open her. So let's start this, by the way, saying something. I am impressed with the box. I know that's wild, because we've actually talked about this a couple of times, that closed boxes, the cardboard boxes, the closed boxes, they are dangerous for us collectors because you can easily get swaps, and oftentimes they're packed very, very, very crappily. Like, they're not usually good. I have to give it, again, to this toy line, and I gotta reemphasize, I'm not a G.I. Joe fan, but like, Classified, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, plastic for plastic, might be the very best toy line on the market today. They just do it right. From the amount that they're putting in to how they just packed this box. You open the box up, there's two little trays. There's this, her weapons and whatnot are in this ammo crate. That's a cool effect. It's cardboard. It comes in a little bag. One of her guns is wrapped in a little piece of cardboard. It's very much the safe, the recyclable material and so on and so forth. A lot less plastic. And then they go out of their way. Jodie comes in this. Like, her little tray, you pull it out, and Jodie's in this, strapped into this. Once again, all cardboard, exactly like they were saying they wanted to do. Closed box, but she's like secure in that box. And like, I gotta give it to them, man. Like, everything that they decide to do, they just seem to do right. They just seem to do it right. It blows me away how well they do what they do. I don't like closed boxes. And yet I just opened this and immediately thought to myself, the presentation of this for an opener, that's important. If you were an inbox collector, this would not be a good thing for you regardless. But for an opener, I opened it, and I said to myself, this is incredibly convenient. It's a small box. It opens. It's got presentation. It's got inward artwork. Everything is secure and in place. All the weapons and everything come in an ammo crate. It's on point. It's just on point. This is such a good toy line. It cannot be understated what they are doing with the resources they have. It's incredible. So, that also being said, here she is. This design, once again, I would like to mention that every G.I. Joe that I have opened feels unique. For a toy line, that is incredible. That is incredible. I love Motu. We know this. I love Masterverse. That's my go-to. I will not deny that 40 different characters over there all share the exact same body. They all share boots. I see it. I know it. I get it. I experience it. I know reuse is a thing in toys. We see it in Marvel Legends. The Spider-Man body gets used over and 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 over. We're not oblivious to this. If you build Gunpla long enough, you will start to recognize the different parts that get reused constantly on different units in terms of interior design and exterior design, to the point where after a while, you don't even need the directions. You go, oh, I've seen this. Clip, 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 clip. Toys do reuse. If I went crazy, I could probably nitpick this enough to figure out exactly where these pieces come from. But when I look at her, and I know you can't see it by this, and I look over there, I have, and I will count them real quick. I know you can't see it, but I will count them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I have about 18 G.I. Joes so far. I don't recognize any of this. I don't recognize any of this. That is incredible. And it's not like she could have been that unique that they had to fully sculpt her out. But they do such a good job of the reuse that they do have that nothing ever feels overused. Every character in this line feels unique. Everybody feels like they have their own body, their own proportion, their own design, their own personality. That is incredible. That is incredible. I can't stress it enough how good this line is every single time I open a figure. I just can't do it. This is going to be a weird one. There are two reasons I wanted this. One, sniper character on the shelf. Sniper character on the shelf. I don't know why, but I wanted that. At this moment it hit me that I wanted that. Not like right now, but when I seen her and she was part of Night Force and she looks like something straight out of Metal Gear Solid and she's got the sniper rifle, this hits so many points for me. One, this is something straight out of Metal Gear Solid. Two, sniper. 3, badass female. 4, fantastic character design. 5, this one's going to be the weird one. Let me take the hair off. Because we're going to put the other hair on. maybe I'm the only one that sees this. And that would be fine, because it spoke to me. I played Resident Evil 5. And when I played Resident Evil 5, I played as Sheva. And something about the way that she is done instantly reminded me of Sheva. A character that I feel, because she was not in the greatest Resident Evil they ever made, gets overlooked substantially and is never seems to be brought back for anything. They do raid modes, no Sheva. They do mercenaries, no Sheva. They do special side game projects, no Sheva. They move forward and do more Chris stuff, no Sheva. They do more Jill stuff, no Sheva. Sheva never gets touched. She's like a massively underappreciated character in the history of Resident Evil. And when I saw her, it felt like this was Sheva had she been in Metal Gear. I love Metal Gear. I like Resident Evil. I unapologetically like Resident Evil 5. I don't care. I know some people don't like it. If you are playing that game multiplayer, that is a good game. I'm not going to tell you it's good to play by yourself. It's not. But if you're playing that game and you have a living person to play with, I love that game. I do. I unapologetically love that game. I don't care. So she just hit certain areas of nostalgia and design that I couldn't ignore. This is something I just wanted. And those are my reasons for wanting her. But as I've said, I am not a G.I. Joe fan. That is not my interest. I have never been a G.I. Joe fan. I don't know enough about G.I. Joe to get excited about G.I. Joe. I don't know what Night Force is. I don't know what Jodie Shooter Craig is. I don't know this character. I didn't read the comics. I've never seen the show. I know nothing about her other than the points I just gave you. And that alone, because it's such a good figure, got me to buy this. And on a personal note, I would tell you that bleeds into exactly what I've been saying. That this is one of the best, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, plastic for plastic. G.I. Joe Classified is probably the best toy line out there right now. Period. Period. It just blows me away. Somebody said that that some of this reuse comes from Lady J. I don't see it. I'm not calling you wrong. I can't do that. I've already explained to you my level of G.I. Joe. But that's where I sit with it. This is an amazing figure. It just is. And those are the reasons I bought it. Those are the, in some cases, for some people would think, stupid reasons that I bought it. But this character spoke to me. I had to put this on the shelf. And I'm thrilled to do so for all of those dumb reasons. But, funny thing about toys, they're toys. Regardless of why you buy them or what you decide to do with them afterwards, they're your toys. You buy them, you make the teams, you create the displays, you decide why it was important to own said characters, you justify it, you have fun, and then everybody else can get over it. Toys. Jodie Shooter Craig, added to the shelf. I didn't necessarily show off all the stuff she came with, but, she did. But I'm not going to get into a bunch of that. I've said what I wanted to say about the figure, why it was important, why I wanted to own her. Now I do. added to the shelf.
I have spoken. Take what you will from